on his desk, searched for the card of the missing woman, found it. 4 visits in all, he said, July 14th, 15th, 19th, and 21st. What did you treat her for? Said Foltz. Would you mind pointing that thing somewhere else? Said Weems. What? Said Foltz. Your pistol, said Weems. It's pointing right at me. Foltz looked down at his right hand, discovered that it really did hold a pistol aimed at Weems. He was embarrassed, confused. Still, he didn't return the pistol to its holster. Put it away, please, said Weems. Foltz put it away. Thank you, said Weems. Surely I'm not being that uncooperative. No, sir, said Foltz. It's the heat in the room, said Weems. It puts everybody's nerves on edge. The heating system is very bad. It's always boiling hot in this room, while the rest of the house is like the North Pole. It's at least 90 degrees in here. Won't you gentlemen please take off your coats? Carney and Foltz took off their coats. Take off your suit coats, too, said Weems. It must be 100 in here. Carney and Foltz took off their suit coats, but sweltered still. You both have splitting headaches now, said Weems, and I know how hard it must be for you to think straight. But I want you to tell me everything you know about me or suspect about me. 4 women who've been reported missing have been traced here, said Foltz. Only 4, said Weems. Only 4, said Foltz. Their names, please, said Weems. Mrs. Mary Stiles Cantwell, Mrs. Esmeralda Coyne, Mrs. Nancy Royce, Mrs. Caroline Hughes Tinker, and Mrs. Janet Zimmer. Weems wrote the names down, just the last names. Cantwell, Coyne, Royce. Selfridge, did you say? Selfridge, said Foltz. Who's Selfridge? Nobody, said Weems. Selfridge is nobody. Nobody, echoed Foltz blankly. What do you think I did with these women? Said Weems. We think you killed them, said Foltz. They were all fairly rich widows. They all drew their money out of the bank after they came to see you, and they all disappeared after that. We think their bodies are somewhere in this house. Do you know my real name? Said Weems. No, said Foltz. When we get your fingerprints, we figure we'll find out you're wanted a lot of other places. I will save you that trouble, said Weems. I will tell you my real name. My real name, gentlemen, is Rumpelstiltskin. Have you got that? I'll spell it for you. Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin, said Foltz. I think you should phone that information into headquarters immediately, said Weems. He held out absolutely nothing to Foltz. Here's the telephone, he said. Foltz took the nothing he'd been handed, treated it like a telephone. Using the non-existent instrument, he put a call through to a Captain Finnerty, reported gravely that Weems's real name was Rumpelstiltskin. What did Captain Finnerty say when you gave him the news? Said Weems. I don't know, said Foltz. You don't know? Said Weems incredulously. He said I was the man who made people pass through mirrors, didn't he? Yes, said Foltz. That's what he said. I admit it, said Weems. You've got me dead to rights. I am Rumpelstiltskin, he said, and I have hypnotized people into stepping through mirrors, into stepping out of this life and into another on the other side. Can you believe that? said Foltz. It's certainly possible once you think about it, isn't it? Said Weems. Yes, said Foltz. You believe it too, don't you? Weems said to Carney. Carney was a hunchback now. His neck, shoulders, and head ached so. I believe it, he said. So that explains what happened to the ladies you're looking for, said Weems. They're far from being dead, believe me. They came to me very unhappy about the way their lives were going, so I sent them through mirrors to see if things weren't better on the other side. In every case, they chose to remain on the other side. I'll show you in a moment the mirrors they went through, but first I'd like to know if there are any more police outside or on their way here. No, said Foltz. Just you two? Said Weems. Yes, said Foltz. Weems clapped his hands lightly. Well, come along, gentlemen, and I'll show you the mirrors. He went to the office door, held it open for his guests. He watched them closely as they passed out into the hall, was gratified when they both began to shiver violently, as though struck by bitter cold. I warned you it was like the North Pole out here, he said. You'd better bundle up, though I'm afraid you'll still be quite uncomfortable. Carney and Foltz bundled up, but continued to shiver. 3 flights of stairs to climb, gentlemen, said Weems. We're going to the ballroom at the top of the house. That is where the mirrors are. There's an elevator, but it hasn't run for years. Not only was the elevator inoperative, it didn't even exist anymore. The elevator, the paneling, the ornate light fixtures, and everything remotely valuable had been stripped from the mansion years before Weems took it over. But Weems invited his guests, even as their feet crunched broken plaster on bare floors, to admire the immaculate and lavish decor. This is the gold room, and this is the blue room, he said. The white swan bed in the blue room is said to have belonged to Madame Pompadour. Believe it or not? Do you believe that? He said to Foltz. You couldn't prove it by me, said Foltz. Who can be sure of anything in this world, eh? Said Weems. Carney repeated this sentiment, word for word. Who can be sure of anything in this world, eh? He said. Here is the staircase to the ballroom, said Weems. The staircase was broad. There was a pedestal at its base that had once supported a statue. The original banisters were gone, naked spikes showing where the uprights had once been moored. There was only one banister now, a length of pipe held by clinched nails. The bare steps were studded with carpet tacks. A tack here and there held a twist of red yarn. I've spent more money restoring this staircase than I've spent on anything else in the house, said Weems. The banisters I found in Italy. The statue, a 14th century St. Catherine from Toledo. I bought from the estate of William Randolph Hearst. This carpet we're walking on, gentlemen, was woven to my specifications in Kerman, Iran. It's like